Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with this week's installment of Rabbi Ian 3, brought to you as always by MEOR DC. I'm going to get right to the topic right now because there's a lot to say. Now, this week's Torah portion is Shelach in the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, and the rabbis in the Midrash expound on this Torah portion, and they say the following. I'm going to read it in Hebrew. Ein chaviv lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu ki shaliach shenishtalech lasos mitzvah v'nosei nafsho sheyatzliach b'shlichuso. There's nothing more beloved to Hashem, to the Holy One, blessed be He, than a messenger who's sent to do a mitzvah, a commandment of Hashem, and puts all his heart and soul into it that he should succeed in his mission. Now, what does this have to do with the Torah portion? And what does it have to do with this special day? Today is a special day in my life. It's the Yarhtzeit of my grandfather, alav shalom, the anniversary of the passing of my dear grandfather, Dr. Howard Taft Fiedler, Herschel ben Yitzchak, and I want to dedicate this video, the few minutes we have together, to the elevation of his soul. This Torah portion is all about the sin of the spies, the Chet HaMeraglim. The Jewish people were poised to go into the land of Israel. Right from Mount Sinai, where they've been encamped for about a year, they were about to go into the land of Canaan, to be the land of Israel, where we fulfill our national destiny. Everything was fine, but some of the Jewish people approached Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, and they said, let's send scouts or spies, Meraglim, ahead in order to see what's the best way to approach the entry to the land and to conquer the land, etc. Sounds fine, right? Every normal people would send a reconnaissance mission, but the Jewish people are not normal. And Hashem had promised the Jewish people, I'm going to take you in. There's no problem, even though there are fierce nations living there who will oppose you, cruel nations, whatever, I'm going to take you in. So really, there might have been something wrong with the desire to send spies. Hashem had guaranteed the whole thing. Moshe went along with it, though he was aware there was something, perhaps a lack of trust in God deep down behind it, but he felt he had to go along with it. And Hashem agreed. And Hashem said, okay, it's not my idea, Moshe, but if you think so, send men. And they should be distinguished men, Hashem decreed. And 12 leaders of the Jewish people were chosen. They went, they did a reconnaissance mission for 40 days. They came back to report, and 10 of the 12 spies said bad things about the land of Israel. And they disheartened the rest of the people, or I should say the men, not the women who kept the faith. But they said the people are fierce there. It's a land that we're not going to be able to live in. It's hard to live there. And they said many things. You have to study the portion on your own. They ended up causing the Jewish people, the men, to have disillusionment, a mass hysteria. They cried. They said we should go back to Egypt or die in the desert. By the way, that's why we wandered 40 years in the desert, because Hashem decreed that that generation of men should not enter the land. They weren't worthy of the holy, beautiful land of Israel. So they died in the desert. That's why there were 40 years of wandering in the desert. Okay, now, those spies didn't do their mission properly. 10 of them. 2 were righteous, but 10 didn't. They let their own ideas, their own fears, whatever it was, there's a lot to say, but we don't have time now, get in the way of them truly fulfilling Hashem's desire to bring the Jewish people in the land of Israel. The commentators expound and expand, and they say every one of us is a messenger. We're sent into this world with unique potentiality, and we're supposed to elevate the physical aspects of our lives, bring Hashem's light into this world, every one of us in our unique way, under the auspices, so to speak, of the Torah, with the guidelines of the Torah. And this portion is an example of how you can go wrong. You can get tempted and distracted and not fulfill your mission properly. It's an incredible Torah portion. Every one of us is sent here, our soul, our holy soul, put here for a mission, each one of us in a unique way. How are we guaranteed that we won't mess up? There's no guarantee. Life is full of hazards and potholes in the street, but the Jewish people have the Torah, and the Torah is our guide, the light of our eyes to light up our way, that we should succeed in our mission. That's the theme of this Torah, and there's nothing more beloved to Hashem than someone who fulfills their mission with the help of the Torah. And we Jews have a mission as a people and as individuals to do the mitzvot and elevate everything in this world. My grandfather, he should rest in peace, was not such a religious man. He wasn't raised that way. But he was a humble man, a doctor. He cared for sick people, psychiatrist. He was someone whose ego, he didn't have much of an ego. It never, certainly, and he was totally dedicated to carrying out his mission in the world, which he saw it as caring for the mentally ill. That was his mission. He was a wonderful and a humble person, and he carried out his mission beautifully. And I was privileged to have many years of knowing him. Each one of us has a mission in this world. And you who watch Rabbi E and 3 and Rabbi E, we have the Torah. And my grandfather did too. And it's a shame. I think my grandmother, she should rest in peace, always said that he enjoyed very much going to synagogue whenever he went. And he didn't live to see myself become more observant in my 20s. But he realized his mission. Every one of us has a mission. We have to guard. We have to devote ourselves to bringing out that potential we all have, and the Torah helps us do it. Have a wonderful Shabbos, and each one of us should give joy to Hashem to fill our mission properly in this world. Good Shabbos.